Baby. Is that you first? Is it correct?
Mr. Kazmark, will you call the meeting to order?
Mayor, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council for January 20th, 2011 to order at 8 p.m. On roll call, council members Catamagna.
Here.
Castiglia.
Here.
Conboy.
Here.
Trowinski is absent. Work.
Here.
Bonsino.
Here.
Mayor Muller.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Will everyone please rise for our prayer and flag salute? Oh God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meeting which we trust to your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and plant therein a keen sense of justice and a greater love for you and our neighbor. Guide us in our deliberations so our decisions will always please you and bring peace and happiness to our community. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Statement of compliance. Mr. Trowinski just arrived, so we can mark him present, please. Whereas Chapter 231 of the Public Law of the State of New Jersey requires that the commencement of each meeting is stated by the presiding officer. Now therefore be advised that this meeting requirement has been met by posting an annual notice in the Record of Hackensack and the Herald News of Woodland Park, and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk as well as in the public place within the municipal building, and by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted on January 1, 2011.
Mayor, this evening, under the approval of minutes, we have the regular meeting of January 6th, 2011.
May I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Mr. Bonsino, second.
Second.
Mr. Catamagna, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So ordered.
Mayor, this evening, under ordinances on second reading, we have Resolution 40-11, introduce ordinance 11-04 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to establish the Water Department of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to fix the rates and prices to be charged for the use of water and establish rules and regulations for the distribution, supply, use, and protection of said water, and penalties for violation of certain rules and regulations, be passed and adopted on first reading. Be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, February 3rd, 2011 at 8 p.m. or as soon thereafter as the same can be heard, at which time and place all persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and he is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Trowinski,
Second.
second. I'm sorry?
Second?
Mr. Work, any discussion?
Mayor, I just want to say on the record, I misspoke. This ordinance is on first reading.
First reading, yes. This ordinance, it's a 5% increase, and it's not our doing. We were increased 5% by Passaic Valley Water Commission, and we have to pass that along. It's not part of our budget at all. It's just extra money, and I do want to mention to everybody here, I understand it's going to be 5% next year, 5% the year after, and for the next 4 or 5 years, it's going up 5% to all the towns that get money from Passaic Valley Water Commission. So,
You know, why is that?
Excuse me?
Why? They just decided to increase?
no, I think they have necessary things that they're doing over there, such as controlling the water itself, make sure it's purified, plus other, I'm looking for the word, so that we don't have any terrorism or anything like that around the water. Security, that's it. Homeland Security, thank you. So all those things are adding to it, so that's what's costing us.
Let's drink wine.
Drink wine. You're going to have some lawn putting wine on it. Call a roll, please.
Council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Trowinski.
Yes.
Work.
Yes.
Bonsino.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 141-11, introduce ordinance 11-1 on second reading. Whereas public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to fix the salary, wage, and compensation of the employees of the Department of Public Works in the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, from January 1st, 2011 through December 31st, 2011, Whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, January 6, 2011, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given the opportunity to be heard concerning same, now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council of the Borough of Elmwood Park, that an ordinance entitled an ordinance to fix the salary, wage, and compensation of the employees of the Department of Public Works in the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, from January 1st, 2011 through December 31st, 2011, pass on final reading. Mayor will need a motion to open it to the public.
May I have a motion for that?
So moved.
Mr. Chewinski, second.
Second.
Mr. Boncino, any discussion? All in favor, opposed? Anyone wish to be heard on the ordinance concerning Public Works salary? If not, I'll close the public portion of the meeting. May I have a motion on the ordinance, please? That's Mr. Castiglia, second.
Second.
Mr. Boncino. Any discussion? This is a one-year contract. Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Trewinski.
Yes.
Work.
Yes.
Pansino.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 42-11, introduce ordinance 11-02 on second reading. Whereas public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled an ordinance to fix the salary, wage, and compensation for the white-collar employees, members of the Elmwood Park Employee Association, which supersedes Ordinance 07-04 for the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey for the year 2011. And whereas this ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, January 6, 2011, and a further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given the opportunity to be heard concerning same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled an ordinance to fix the salary, wage, and compensation for the white-collar employees, members of the Elmwood Park Employee Association, which supersedes Ordinance 07-04 for the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey for the year 2011, pass on final reading. Mayor will need a motion to open to the public.
May I have that, please?
So moved.
Mr. Boncino?
Second.
Second, Mr. Work. Discussion? All in favor, opposed, so ordered. Anyone in the audience who wishes to speak on this salary ordinance? If not, I'll close the public portion of the meeting. May I have a motion to, introduce the second reading or something?
I'll second.
It's a rough night already. Moved by Mr. Boncino, second by Mr. Castiglia. Any discussion? Call over. This is also a one-year contract.
Council members Catamagna.
Yes.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Lewinsky.
Yes.
Work.
Yes.
Pansino.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 43-11, introduce ordinance 11-03 on second reading. Whereas public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled an ordinance to fix the salary, wage, and compensation of the officers, employees, and servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey for the year 2011. And whereas said ordinance was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, January 6, 2011, and that further consideration of this ordinance would be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given the opportunity to be heard concerning same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled an ordinance to fix the salary, wage, and compensation of the officers, employees, and servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey for the year 2011, pass on final reading. Mayor will need a motion to open to the public.
May I have that?
So moved.
Mr. Boncino?
Second.
Mr. Castiglia, discussion, all in favor, opposed, so ordered. Anyone wish to be heard on this ordinance? This is also a one-year ordinance, I'm sorry?
I say sold.
This is also a one-year contract, and it took us a while to separate these contracts so that we'd have one every year, and now we're having all of them up next year, primarily because we have the 2% cap, and the police contract is up next year. So we're trying to do all three of them, all four of them, so that they'll try to be even with everybody who works in the borough. Call the roll, please.
Mayor, we need a motion to adopt.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Chewinski,
Second.
second. Mr. Work, discussion. Call the roll.
Council members Catamagna.
No.
Castiglia.
Yes.
Conboy.
Yes.
Trewinski.
Yes.
Work.
Yes.
Pansino.
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, this evening, under the consent agenda, we have Resolution 44-11, payment of bills, Resolution 45-11, confirmation of checks, Resolution 46-11, confirmation of payroll, Resolution 47-11, appoint volunteer firefighter, company number 1, Roberto Torres, Resolution 48-11, authorize secure abandoned property located at 79 Elizabeth Avenue, Resolution 49-11, approve agreement with Lurch, Vinci, and Higgins as Borough Auditor for calendar year 2011. Resolution 50-11, approve agreement with Rogat McCarthy as Borough Bond Counsel for the year 2011. Resolution 51-11, approve agreement with Boswell McClave Engineering as Borough Engineer for the calendar year 2011, calendar year 2012, and calendar year 2013. And Resolution 52-11, appointment of Angela Panetta as alternate member number 1 of the Board of Adjustment based on your nomination, Mayor.
May I have a motion, please?
Mayor, if I could, 5211, could we take that off consent, because I'm going to abstain on that.
Okay.
Okay. So the motion would be from Resolution 44-11 through Resolution 51-11.
I'll move.
Moved by Mr. Castiglia, second.
So moved. Second.
Oh, you second?
Mr. Truinsky. Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members, Catamagna?
Yes.
Castiglia? Yes. Conboy?
Yes.
Truinsky?
Yes.
Work?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Motion carries on the consent agenda. Resolution 52-11. To the Borough Council, I hereby nominate and with your advice and consent appoint Angelo Panetta to the Board of Adjustment alternate number 1 position for the period of 1 year, term ending December 31st, 2011. Respectfully submitted, Richard A. Mola, Mayor. Resolution 52-11.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Mr. Boncino, second.
Second.
Mr. Castiglia, discussion. Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members, Catamagna?
Yes.
Castiglia?
Yes.
Conboy? Yes. Truinsky?
Abstain.
Work?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 53-11. Be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the following change order number 2 and final is hereby approved. Contractor, D&L Paving Contractors Incorporated, P.O. Box 507, Nutley, New Jersey. Contract number EP 1185, Project 2010 Road Resurfacing Program. Original contract amount $282,464.25. Change order number 1 was for the amount of $7,500. 2 and final is a reduction of $11,018.30 for an adjusted contract amount of $278,945.95.
Motion, please.
So moved.
I'll
Mr.
second.
Boncino, Mr. Catamagna. Mr. Clerk, would you just turn around and see if Mr. Conboy is here? He hasn't made a motion yet.
Turning over a new leaf, Mayor.
He's present.
Teamwork, Mayor.
Any discussion?
Listen more, Tom.
I would just like to indicate that the 2010 road resurfacing program, total amount of money is $279,000, and that's basically what we bond every year to improve our roads. So we're trying to do as many roads in town as we can, limiting the resources that we have, the amount of money we have to spend, and I think we're doing a fairly decent job. Everybody wants their road repaid, but it's getting more and more expensive to do it, and we're trying to get something in each section of town so that people can see and know that we're not only paving roads in one section of town. Call the roll, please.
On roll call, council members, Catamagna?
Yes.
Castiglia?
Yes.
Conboy?
Yes.
Truinsky?
Yes.
Work?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution 54-11, be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that the following named be and is hereby appointed as Provisional Fire Subcode Official in the Building Department, Charles Iyer of Hackensack, New Jersey. Be it further resolved that the remuneration for said appointment shall be in the continued amount of $30 per hour.
Motion, please. Mr. Conboy, second.
Second.
Tom made that one?
Second. Mr. Catamagna, discussion? Call the roll, please.
Council members, Catamagna?
Yes.
Castiglia?
Yes.
Conboy?
Yes.
Lewinsky?
Yes.
Work?
Yes.
Bonsino?
Yes.
Motion carries. Mayor, tonight under departmental reports, we have the municipal court report and the recreation department report.
Motion to receive and file.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Work and Mr. who? Mr. Conboy and Mr. Work. Any discussion? All in favor, opposed, so ordered.
Aye.
Committee reports? Where do we want to start? Mr. Catamagna?
Yes, if I can talk. After last Friday, Saturday, I wasn't able to talk. I don't have much to say, except I want to say thank you to you, Mayor, and Mr. Bocino, for coming to my pasta night to raise money for those kids, the Italian Club, Elmwood Park High School. If we are trying to go to Italy, if not, the money will be used to host a group of students from Italy. They will be here June 2nd until the 11th. They come to see our school. They may come to see us, man.
Good.
If you don't mind. It's 16 female, 2 male, and plus we have 3 administrators come here to
All
see us.
female students?
16 students, female. They're the only ones who have money. And two boys. They range from ages 16 to 18 years old.
Good.
So we try to do the best to be good host for them.
Yes.
Thank you very much. The pasta night was a success. We made a little over $1,000.
Good.
And really, the people who made the food should be commended for because they did a beautiful job. And if I can mention some of the names, I do have a certificate for them. And that would be like Francesco from Woodland Park. I was going to say West Patterson. And then we have Eureka from Elmo Park. He did a beautiful job. He also did a nice job for us. Then we have Maria Bakery with the cookies. Leonard Bakery, also more cookies. And we had Venice Bakery with 250 rolls, he said to me.
Wow.
So I have rolls in my freezer if you want need some. And Bottega from Hawthorne, and am I forgetting somebody else? I guess, the Brothers Pizzeria.
Better not
from,
forget anybody else.
Salvador.
Tell everybody else.
I don't forget anybody else. Forgive me. Yeah. I'm still trying to recuperate this. The reason why we have exams now, midterm exams. And the reason why I went to school is because they changed the system now. Before somebody else, other teachers used to be able to give our exams. But the new system is better. We give our own exams.
Good.
The kids, if they have a question, I'm right here. And instead of last year, the year before, and so many other years before, they always page me. Caramai, they need you room 215. Caramai, they need you. I used to go crazy. Now this is the best way to do it. Exams, tomorrow we don't know if our exam will be postponed because we expect it to snow. But I hope it doesn't snow. This guy finish up my exam.
Thank you.
I have anything else for now, man. Thank you.
Mr. Caramagna, personally, I enjoyed it. I know Mr. Boncino and our attorney was there. The food was excellent. Speaking for myself, the family has been looking to diet, and I said I was going to the pasta dinner, and I was going to have, what'd you have, about 6 or 7 different types of
yes.
I tasted all of them, and they were all good, and I probably ate too much, but it was delicious.
Also want to thank you for making a little boy happy. He was so happy to meet you.
Nice little boy, yes.
Vincenzo Ayaguez
Yes.
was so cute. He was all excited all night. He made this night.
Thank you. He does, I'm just, excuse me for doing this, gentlemen, but
Sorry, Mayor.
I don't know if he's related to an Ayaquez that used to live up the corner from me that I took to school with my daughter.
Yes.
And then when my daughter graduated, she was in the 11th grade, I took her to school for a whole year. And my daughter didn't go, so I became a chauffeur for a whole year.
Hey, that's an idea for the Gilbert Ave problem.
Yes. Mr. Chewinski?
Yes, Mayor. I attended the JIF reorganization meeting on Wednesday. I'm still in the Claims Committee. A homegrown boy by the name of Greg Franz, he's now an administrator in another town, was put on the executive board.
Good.
They're working on, they did pass a resolution to go to the state legislature from the JIF regarding the sidewalks. They want to opt out of the suits that are being filed on the city sidewalks, which they say is the homeowner's responsibility. And needless to say, what happens with the joint insurance, they still get dragged to the suit because they consider it in the right-of-way. But they're asking the legislature to pass a law to pass it totally onto the homeowner so we have no liability whatsoever.
Good.
Let's see. Workman's comp claims were pretty low this month. And I said, well, maybe because of the snow, nobody got out of the cars or anything, so that might have helped us a little. The fire department, they asked if we can, anybody who has a fire hydrant in front of their house, please remove the snow from it so they can get to it in an emergency. It is your responsibility if the fire hydrant lies on your property line, to take care of it. They're planning 4 drills this year with all 4 companies simultaneously throughout the winter. Their beefsteak is the 29th at 7:30 at the VFW. And we report on OSHA that OSHA came into the fire companies a month or so ago. 3 of the companies completed all the work that was necessary, are in compliance. 1 company, which is Company 4, asked for an extension. They are also in the process of merging the Ladies Auxiliary Fire Department into one group instead of 4 separate ones, 4 separate companies, which would be easier. Last night I attended the county meeting, which was one of their first meetings since their reorganization. It was packed to the house, to the hilt. Good meeting. The agenda was one of the lightest I've seen financially, hardly anything spent. A lot of things did come up as, just a few I wanted to point out, that we are still paying for the famous park, Overpaid Park they call it now, instead of Overpeck Park, Mayor.
What do they call it?
Overpeck, they took on Mr. Giblin saying there, they call it Overpaid Park.
Overpaid Park.
Yes. They have a horse stable in there that hasn't been used, at housing 18 house horses, they call them, with a staff, which is costing the county right now $60,000 a month. They figured 8 months it's gone without use so far. So you can do the math and figure what's going on. And needless to say, that fell under the jurisdiction, or the people overseeing it were the famous BCIA. And last night they took it out of their hands and they're going to put it into the park commissioner's hands at the county, which I don't doubt eventually it might go to private enterprise because we're not making money on it at all.
That's the horses?
Yeah.
That was a problem 15 years ago.
Okay. They also brought up the strict pay-to-play ordinances and all that are coming up. And I did say on a light note, because I congratulated my brother who was appointed county administrator last night. I gave him a short story on pay-to-play, because the county's been hedging on this for the last 4 years, stating that they're waiting for the Supreme Court to rule on it, basically. But a lot of towns have passed pay-to-play and stringent ones. And when the new Republicans came in this time, they are working on one really real swift. Needless to say, the Democrats are still complaining that's unconstitutional. But I gave him a short note because my brother ran for Congress and also ran in Fairlawn many times for council there. And many times I supported his campaigns over the years. And I learned a good lesson on pay-to-play because going back about 4 or 5 years when they passed the strictest one they had, he said, by the way, I won the election, but you can never work in my town because you get donated too much to my campaign.
That's true.
Which is what you want. These are the kind of people you want there running your county. It looks like it's going to be a good year for them. And one more thing, I just want to say, the new bakery did open Wednesday. I know you're going to get into that, to talk to them about that for Wednesday?
No, go ahead.
Oh, that opened, the new bakery on the corner of Market Street opened on Wednesday. Please patronize it. It's good to use some businesses in the town. Okay, Mayor.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How come only one side of Market Street, one block, was clean? Is it
Well,
because-
I found out today they were working on the other side, but because they dumped the snow on the chiropractor's property, somebody complained, and they had to remove it. So I said, Scott, what happened? He said, somebody complained about it being on the building that's burnt, which nobody uses, so he figured it'd save time. So it took most of his day to take it back to the DPW. And I said, what's the
It's
complaint?
not going to go anywhere. It's just
Why
snow.
can't they take it by the river?
Well, they took it by the DPW, but yesterday he was clearing that all out and he pushed it in there. Nobody's using it. It's burnt.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So he figured he'd get to this side today, but then somebody complained, so he wound up taking the snow down there, poor guy.
Somebody called me and said, can we dump it on Mr. Caramagna's property? I said, sounds good to me.
Right. There's already a mountain of ice in there.
You try to save time to clean up the
Looks
area,
like-
and then somebody
Yeah, that's
complains
the thing.
about that. So
Man, it looks like the Alps already in my place.
Yeah.
Always.
Mr. Chewinski, just to indicate, Greg Franz used to sit in your seat when he was on the council. He was on the council, I think, 6 years.
That's right.
He sat right there.
Good guy.
Mr.
Good man.
Castiglia?
Yes, give me a short report, Mayor. I guess everybody saw in the paper about the recycling of the electronic components now, televisions. I think I mentioned it twice last year. I mentioned a couple of places that you could bring them to, which was Bergen Community College and up at Darlington at the Reserve up in Mawa. It was 2 different occasions last year, but now that it's the law, as of January 1st, you can't put your TVs or your computer monitors or your computers out in the trash at all anymore. So, of course, they're going to increase those drop-off points, and towns and the counties will be setting up some programs where these items will be picked up. Right now, it's only in the process. It's in the works, so whenever I hear anything about it, I'll pass it on at a meeting like this. But for right now, there's a lot of different things going on, depending on what town you're in.
I think you can also bring them to electronic stores.
You can bring them, yeah, that was
Oh, yeah?
also in the article.
Oh, yeah.
I think
That's
Best Buy is taking them now. Eventually, I think all of those stores eventually going to take back, electronic components. The government's going to pay them for it somehow, so.
I think what this council has to discuss, and we did discuss it briefly at the last work session, is that maybe people are going to have to pay to have our recycler come and pick it up, like they do wash machines and dryers and things of that nature, which we do gratis. However, now that the state mandates they pay, the state mandated this law, now we may have to pay for it. We have no idea how much that's going to cost, and with the 2% cap, it may be infringing on our own budget, so we have to give that some serious thought.
I'm not sure how far it's going to go, but I misspoke a minute ago. The government is going to be collecting funds from some of these distributors, the electronic distributors,
And then give it
and
to
the
the town?
manufacturers. They're going to be, I guess, however it works for the
Good luck.
government, how it finally filters down, but they are going to be working on that also.
Well, that's good, if they want to
Uh,
pay. We'll keep track of how much we
Yeah, there's a
pay.
website, recyclenj.org, if anybody's interested in seeing anything about recycling on there. And one other thing, it's winter, so it's
Oh.
going to snow again tonight, and possibly another one on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week.
You're becoming a real weatherman, huh?
Yeah, no, so everybody, do the things that you know you're supposed to
What's the
do.
map?
Try to get your cars off the street,
You got a satellite
do the
map?
fire hydrants like Councilman Truinsky mentioned, and try to stay out of those areas where the sign says no parking when the road is snow covered. That's about it, man.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Work, Councilman Work?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Once again, the Elmwood Park Health Department will be continuing offering the free adult consultation and child health clinics to the residents of Elmwood Park. And I do mention free because everybody asks me how much do they cost. They are free. No appointment is required for the adult health clinic. Walk-in residents are welcome. And the next adult consultation clinic will be held on February 15th. It's a Tuesday morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's in the private clinic room in the municipal building. The free child health clinic next dates will be held on February 3rd. It's a Thursday morning from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. and on February 7th. That's a Monday evening from 5:30 p.m. To 7 p.m. Now, the child health care clinics also includes free immunizations for infants up to 18 years old. So if you have any issues going to doctors, you get them free by coming here. The Elmwood Park will still be offering the 4 free vaccines provided by the AER program at no charge. It's another offer. The Board of Health, any of these 4 vaccines, basically, they're for pneumonia prevention, HPV prevention, prevention of meningitis, and also tetanus, diphtheria, and whooping cough. And these free vaccines will also be offered on February 15th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Tuesday morning. Once again, the Elmwood Park Health is also offering flu vaccinations. So anytime you want to come by, usually they're being offered once again during the child health clinics and also the adult health clinics. And you can also make an appointment to come in to get one if you need one. The charge for these flu shots are $25 for participants 18 to 64 years of age, and for participants 65 years older, will be free with proof of Medicare B coverage. Also wanted to mention to all dog and cat owners of Elmwood Park that January is the month to renew your dog and cat licenses. Renewals can be done by mail or in person. You can stop by the Elmwood Park Health Department daily from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. to renew your dog and cat license. Just wanted to bring up some good news about the Elmwood Park Health Department again. They received the New Jersey Health Officers Award for influenza preparedness and planning, and that was a grant in a total amount of $10,000. So as you can see, this grants are still coming in. Also want to announce the Elmwood Park homeowners meeting will be held here next Wednesday in the all-purpose room at 7:30 p.m. Also, this is a little bit of exciting time for the Cub Scouts in the Elmwood Park as they are preparing for their Pinewood Derby. I don't know if anybody's familiar with that when they're a Cub Scout. The Pinewood Derby is being held next Friday, January 28th at St. Leo's in the basement. Right now, these little guys are busy building little Pinewood cars, and they will be competing at St. Leo's next Friday, and depends on weight and time. And I just want to make it clear that there is no betting at these races. Also, on a sad note, I also want to announce that there will be another bone marrow drive held for Deidre Gilmore this Sunday. It's going to be held at the Bergen Catholic High School. The address there is 1040 Oradell Avenue in Oradell, New Jersey. The drive date's Sunday, like I said, January 23rd. It's going to be held from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. As anybody is familiar with Deidre, she was an unbelievable mom. She was a volunteer, Bomber football, baseball, schools. I was privileged to coach 2 of her children, and she was diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer known as acute leukemia. I can't pronounce it, but she's in desperate need of a bone marrow transplant. So if you can come down to attend, see if you can get a match, it would be fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much.
He took all my time, I tell you. It's like the convoy report all year.
That's a major achievement. We have to give Keith a certificate of some sort.
Yeah.
Do I become the favorite now?
Name a. Here we go. He said he's vying to be the favorite. Careful, it comes with a price. Well, folks, just a couple of quick notes. On the financial front, last week in a work session, we had our auditor in, we've had some of our other financial professionals in, and some of our department heads that affect our budget. And I just want to continue to let everyone know that as the weeks come ahead, we'll probably provide some more information. But we are moving ahead very strongly. We've made some very strategic decisions. I've used that word before a couple of weeks ago, or I think on the New Year's Day swearing-ins, because of the fact that we've been this thing has been constantly in working motion of this budget, and we know the restrictions that we all have, and you pick up the paper every day, and there's always something new there. So we have worked very hard on it, and I know the mayor and council knows this. We feel pretty confident that we may even hopefully, unless something comes out through Trenton, we do have some things we have to wait for. There's just some deadlines that we can't control at the state level, but we actually think we may even adopt this budget pretty early. So that's going to be some kind of task that have been finished at this point for our municipality. Again, there are things we are out of our control. When you go through all the things that we spend on, probably the road program is right up there, and that's something that we do control. But that is something, like the mayor mentioned earlier, we try to stay very loyal to that, because we're improving about 12 to 15 streets or intersections a year. Sometimes we try to hit a road, sometimes we try to hit the intersections, and make impact all around the town. So our expenses are not huge expenses that we actually go out and control. But of course, we'll need to wait to see what the county has to say. Hopefully, as Councilman Chewinski has already mentioned, they're already starting to spend less, hopefully, which is good for us. And of course, April will be another big portion of the budget. Will be what happens in April with our school budget, and whether that should pass or fail, and then what would happen if we have to look at that as well. So those are pieces we have to wait on, but we're moving very strongly in that area. Also, just a couple of quick notes on recreation. This week was the soccer dinners. I want to thank all the players and parents for all their dedication, driving around from town to town to play in these soccer games. It is a lot to ask, and they've done a great job, and the kids all got their reward over 2 nights. We had to hold them on 2 separate nights. There were so many kids and parents and so forth, so that's nice. And the Rec Commission met this week. They reorganized in the new year, and they're already up and running on a lot of initiatives. We also, if you remember about a year or so, a little over a year ago, I was promoting here how we were doing this online registration and the benefits of it. So we wanted to review it a year later to see if it was a smart decision. The impact that we get from the residents is tremendous. One of the features, as I had mentioned a year or so ago, is that we can now communicate by text, through email. We have ways of getting messages out to the parents. So it's really opened up a lot of communication issues. We have issues with the kids taking home letters in the backpack. Parents don't always see it. It gets crumbled down at the bottom, or the child doesn't take it, or
doesn't hear the teacher say, "Hey, take one." The child doesn't take one. So now we are actually broadcasting out these things, and the response is getting greater and greater and greater with every different event. On a recreational front, talking about the events, our rec department is going to be very aggressive in trying to get a lot of programs up and running a lot earlier and sooner with registration. Again, we need you to participate, and we need you to come in on a timely fashion so that your child can be included, and we can plan so that your child has a great time in our recreational program. So in the next coming weeks, you're going to start seeing stuff about summer camp already. We have one of the cheapest and one of the best summer camps in the area. We've done a lot of analysis on this. Our summer camp is in some cases almost $150 less than our neighboring towns. And we offer a pretty phenomenal summer camp. Soccer registration will be coming out again. We just had the dinner, and registration will be coming out already. We try to get that done in the early spring before kids leave for the summer. Also, all the baseball leagues now are having registration, softball. Basketball season's underway. It's going very well. I've been down there the last 2 Saturdays. All the children are having a good time. And we also, a couple of fathers that started this on their own, using our basketball court at the rec center. They started hockey outside. The kids loved it. I think I might have mentioned it at the last meeting, maybe not, but the rec department acted quickly, and now there's about 40 to 50 kids signed up for hockey, which they're doing Sunday mornings in the rec. The kids are loving it. The parents are loving it. Maybe it's something we could grow, and obviously it's growing really fast. The funny part is there's a few kids that aren't happy because they said when it was over outside, their dads would take them for hot chocolate. So they're saying, we want to go back outside so we get the hot chocolate. So we told them we'd get them hot chocolate. So that's it on that front. And just on a personal note, just to mention something, as I have done before, I don't know if everybody, I'm sure the mayor and council all saw it last week. The Record did a nice story on a young man in our community who will join a long list of other great student athletes that we've had come that live in Elmwood Park, played in our sports programs. And Gary Nova, they've been a long-time family here. They live across the street from Councilman Roncino. We've known Gary since he was a little tiny tot, playing basketball already in second grade. He's accepted to stay home. He was going to go to Pitt, University of Pitt. He's going to be the Rutgers backup quarterback, and he's had a phenomenal high school career up at Don Bosco, 3 state championships, 1 national title, all under his quarterback commanding. So congratulations to the entire Nova family and Gary on all his success, and wish you all the best in the future. I'm glad you're staying home in the area. We can come watch you play. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Conboy. Mr. Boncino?
Yes, Mayor. I'm going to start with the ambulance corps. Our ambulance corps is having a fundraiser beefsteak dinner. It'll be held on March 12th at the American Legion Hall. It will feature the master hypnotist and comedian Gary Conrad. Tickets are $50 per person. They must be purchased in advance, and you can do that by calling 201-796-8077 to reach the Corps. Last year, probably in the November timeframe, I discussed our police department's involvement with immigrations and customs enforcement. Chief Ingrassalino sent a summary of the seizures that occurred in the 2 years we've been participating in this program. They amounted to over $5 million in seizures that are associated with the ICE task force. Out of that $5 million, the borough of Elmwood Park should realize approximately 10% of that, or about $500,000. So I'd like to congratulate
If we get
Chief Ingrassalino on the work that they do on that front. And yes, if we get it, that $5 million has to work its way through the courts and all. But of that $5 million, 10% would be slated toward the borough. Chief Ingrassalino, Deputy Chief Palmieri, Captain Diddick, and I met with Mr. Tomko and Mr. Moffitt relative to traffic issues around some of our schools, specifically the traffic concerns in front of the high school on Gilbert Ave, which I talked about in detail last meeting. We talked through a number of ideas, short of making it a one-way, and I think all of them are viable and will improve the situation for the students and work to make it a safer environment even for the residents that live in front of the school. It would revolve around changing some of the bus routing around the school and then limiting turns during certain hours at the intersection of River Drive and Gilbert Ave. I'll talk about it in more detail at our work meeting.
Sounds good.
With some of the plans we want to do going forward. And as I discussed over the last year, we're members of the New Jersey Sustainable Energy Meeting, where we participate in gas and electricity auctions to purchase our commodities, those commodities at a discount. This year, we're planning the gas auction for 2011. The SEM set a strike price of 73 cents to 75 cents, depending on the length of the contract. That'll go out for bid January 28th. Last year, we were paying 88 cents a therm, so we're looking to improve that. Now, we're trying to save money on purchasing the gas, but what's important to realize is by purchasing it in this way, we're coming up with a purchase that's predictable. So we'll never see a sharp increase, and we're protecting ourselves against future long-term price increases, which we have no control over. So I think it's a positive thing for the borough.
Thank you. Mr. Giblin? No. Thank you. Just to keep in mind and to piggyback on Mr. Comboy's statements concerning our budget, I wish everybody would keep in mind that the governor has a 2% cap on our budget. There are some things that are outside the cap, such as the pension and health benefits that are above 10% in both of them. One is as high as 15%. So if we're keeping ours down to 2% in the cap, and these two items are 15% or more outside the cap, it's going to make it difficult for us to hold the tax down. People are going to say, well, you have a 2% cap, the taxes should come down. No, maybe we should try to put all of that under a 2% cap, then we can keep the taxes down. But we're struggling now with manpower, et cetera, and we may not be able to keep the tax down to what we would like to because of these other items that are outside the cap. Just one thing Mr. Castiglia missed, we have two people, it's supposed to snow tonight, but we have two men down at DPW that were hurt. One may come back and help us with the plowing, and one may not. So we were down to 17 men before. Now we're maybe down two more, and we have people complaining about what's going on with the snow plowing. Well, if you don't have people out in the trucks, and we may have to try to bring in somebody to help us out. But these are some of the items. And again, just to reiterate what Mr. Castiglia indicated, please get the cars off the road. Try to help us out. We're trying. It's January. We have February for snow days. And then we have probably the worst. March, beginning of March, we get these crazy snowstorms. So I did find out today, I happened to see the superintendent in the hall, and he had to go out and buy more salt. We had a lot of salt tied up that we bought last year at a reduced rate, I mentioned that, and now we had to go out and buy more salt for what's coming up, and we don't know where that's going. So talk about keeping taxes down. So please do that, and if you can bring your computers and your TVs to the stores that will take them back, please do that also. Okay? I'd like to have a motion to open to the public, and I'm going to do it out of motion. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard? If you do, please go to the microphone. If you don't want to wish to be heard, and we have the reporter here, and we have three people, you'll never be heard again. I'm just warning you. If you don't come up today, we're going to ban you from speaking. Okay. Thank you. A motion to close the meeting.
So moved.
Mr. Castiglia and Mr. Catamagna, may I have a motion? All in favor, may I have a motion to adjourn, please? So moved. Mr. Boncino, Mr. Work, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so ordered. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, before I finish, do you still have that on? Okay. If you just tuned in and you're not sure when you can watch this on TV, it's on Tuesday, Channel 77, Tuesday at 12 noon, Thursday at 4 o'clock, which I saw today myself, and Friday at 11 a.m. Or you can go to www.elmwoodparknj.us and see it on our web. Thank you very much, and thank you for coming, ladies and gentlemen.